I was able to build a successful business and create my dream life without the constant hustle, grind, and burnout, whilst also living a soft, feminine life. What rich women won't tell you is that it's not about hard work. No. Rich women are in the south of France on a vineyard sipping on some wine. Hey lovelies, my name is Lorraine. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about the feminine routines that make you rich. A lot of women shy away from starting a business or pursuing their dream life because they associate abundance and wealth with hard work, hustling, and grinding. But you can make money and live the life you've always dreamt of by being soft, being in a state of ease and flow, and resting in your feminine energy. And I'm going to show you how. The first feminine routine that will make you rich is planting seeds. 99% of opportunities I've received, like speaking engagements, brand partnerships, and mentoring clients, have been inbound, where I'm attracting opportunities without putting in a lot of work. The biggest mistake that I see a lot of women doing is focusing on the outbound. They're chasing opportunities. They're pitching themselves, sending emails, and cold calling. And although that might get you some results, it's not going to be a lot. And you're going to run the risk of constantly being on the hustle hamster wheel and burning yourself out. What I did instead was to plant seeds internally by pouring into myself and focusing on becoming the source, setting myself apart from the rest, making myself stand out, and becoming the go-to expert for femininity, soft productivity, and womanhood. When they needed a speaker regarding those topics, or when a brand wanted to advertise and place their product or service into my content, and also when a client was ready to embrace their feminine identity and attract their God-given abundance. Not only does this mean that I'm not working as hard, but when you chase, you're constantly proving yourself, constantly trying to highlight your value. Compared to when you attract, people already know your value and they're willing to meet your standard in order to work with you, have your product, or have your service. Planting seeds and pouring into yourself might not have immediate gratification because you have to wait for the seeds to grow. You don't just become an expert overnight, but it's much more sustainable than doing it the masculine way and running the risk of being in the same place, frustrated, unaccomplished, and resentful. The next feminine routine that will make you rich is building a village. When I first started my business, I didn't just create a product or service that people might not have been interested in. Instead, I shared my story of how I went from being broke, no money, in debt, to being abundant, buying my house and my dream car. I shared the nuances of being a single mom, being an immigrant, and being a woman of color. And as a result, my platform started growing. I began to build a community of like-minded women with similar experiences who could see themselves in my story. I would reply to DMs of women sharing their own stories and have conversations with them. I would read all the comments of women sharing their perspectives, their problems, their barriers, their challenges. Took it a step further of bringing the community in one place by creating a newsletter where I would send out my own thoughts, feelings, or experiences that I wouldn't be sharing online. This not only strengthened my village, but allowed me to understand what my community actually wanted, which allowed me to create products and services that would solve those problems, because I already had a community and village of women who were ready to pay me to solve their problems. And that's one of the reasons I love Omnisend, who are kindly sponsoring this part of the video. Omnisend is the ultimate email and SMS marketing platform for e-commerce brands. Because of their extensive library of templates, you could easily create a landing page that you could use to add people to your email list. What I recommend, which I do myself, is to offer something valuable like an ebook, guide, or list. For example, I offer the Attract with Ease workbook for free. I find that I have more people joining my email list that way than people who are subscribing to my newsletter. All you have to do is create a customer journey where people who signed up for the free product receive it automatically. Omnisend is a sophisticated, powerful tool, so they've already done the heavy lifting for you when it comes to customer journeys. So all you have to do is to just focus on your business and they'll focus on the tech. This saves you time of having to send the product every single time somebody signs up for it, which is absolutely perfect for a feminine woman like me who wants to reduce her workload. Try Omnisend today using my promo code LORILUX. Click the link in the description or scan scan the QR code on the screen to get a free month or 30% off the first 3 months. Thank you again to Omnisend for sponsoring this part of the video. The next feminine routine that will make you rich is to serve. The Bible says people will overcome by testimony and the blood of the Lamb. I'm a very private person, so when I started my business, I would focus more on my knowledge and clinical experience to evidence my expertise. And although this garnered a lot of respect from people for providing an evidence-based approach or reasons to their behavior, this didn't correlate to them becoming clients and me making money. And although this wasn't done intentionally, the moment I started sharing my testimony of what I had gone through and what I had overcome is the moment people started to see how to put those tips into practice. They were able to visibly see the transformation, which built trust in me as an expert that I could provide them with the same transformation. A lot of times we shy away and are embarrassed of our dark times, of our mess, not realizing that that's what makes us reliable as business women. Walking in your servitude isn't just about doing things for people. It's about turning your mess into a message, showing how you turned your test into a testimony. It's like when you're at church and you hear somebody's testimony of their journey, what they've gone through and what they've overcome. That is so powerful because it gives you so much hope and faith that you can overcome what you're going through. That if they did it, so can you. Because sharing your testimony isn't just about monetary gain, but it's for His glory. You never know how your words or your story could enrich somebody's life. The next feminine routine that will make you rich is temptation bundling. I have times where I'm procrastinating because I don't want to do a specific task. For me, it's editing videos because it's long-winded, because it's boring, because it's quite challenging, which makes me associate it with pain. And who wants to do anything that's painful? So I pair it with something that I love. I go and sit in a cafe or in a hotel lobby. I edit while looking fabulous, taking in the ambiance, sipping on some coffee or a cocktail. Just the thought that I'm going to a cafe or a hotel lobby makes me look forward to the task because I'm going to be doing something that I love. Contrary to popular belief, women, we're not motivated by the results, by the end goal. We're motivated by the experience, by the journey, and how something makes us feel. Something makes us feel good if we're enjoying ourselves, you're more than likely to continue doing that task. So temptation bundling is about tempting your mind to doing something that you don't enjoy, that you don't want to do, by rewarding yourself instantly. The next feminine routine that will make you rich is by becoming the main character of your life. I always say that I'm an introvert who's masquerading as an extrovert. So being online, being visible sometimes feels icky because I feel exposed. But I think about Jennifer Garner in 13 Going on 30. Let me know if you know that film in the comments or I'm just showing my age. There's a part where she wakes up as the 30-year-old version of herself, and initially she's timid, she doesn't know what she's doing, but she ends up actually embracing this version of herself. She's having fun, she's appreciating all the things that come from this version of herself. Her amazing concierge apartment, her fabulous clothes, a glamorous job. So the times when I feel icky and exposed about being visible and about being online, I remind myself that I'm the main character of my life. This is my stage, and I'm also embodying the most abundant and successful version of myself, who's really confident, carefree, and doesn't care what people say about her. Because the truth is, when it comes to having a successful business, visibility is key. Your fear of being seen is keeping you broke. I'm gonna say that one more time. Your fear of being seen is keeping you broke. We've got Versailles Lounge, who's the founder of Kai Collective. We've got Grace Beverly, who's the founder of Weird Tala. These women have 7-figure businesses, but they are still visible. They still have personal brands which are separate to their businesses and are able to generate multiple streams of income. Whether you have a product or service-based business, you have to be online. You have to be visible. So being the main character when it comes to being visible is the ultimate plot twist. Platforms are just your stage. It's your world and everybody's just living in it. The next feminine routine that will make you rich is investing back into yourself. When I consistently post 4 YouTube videos in a month, I I buy myself something to celebrate. When I consistently post 5 days a week on Instagram for the whole month, I buy myself something to celebrate. If you check on my community post, every single month I share my monthly wins, things that I've accomplished, things that I'm proud of, things that I've overcome, whether it's big or small. I realized that pursuing your dreams is like saving. The more you put in, the more you save, and the higher interest you'll have. People say that starting is the most difficult part. No, you can start and give up in a month. Being consistent is the most difficult thing. It shouldn't just be about focusing on the outcomes or what you've achieved, but on focusing on the tasks, things that you've managed to do, the things that you've managed to complete. Treating yourself isn't about luxury, it's about loving the process again, keeping you motivated, reflecting and acknowledging yourself. It's not just about focusing on the bigger picture. Celebrating your wins allows you to be present in the here and now and to not take anything for granted. The message here is you don't have to be constantly hustling, grinding and working hard. You can be soft, be in a state of ease and flow, and rest in your feminine energy for you to attract abundance and money. Like this video if you want to see more videos on femininity and abundance. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time that I upload a video, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye lovelies.